Morning, Desiree, and to our viewers. Certainly that agreement still stands. The multi-party coalition partners are still backing Cecilia Brink to be the next mayor here in the capital city. You'd understand that Mr. Brink is all the way from Parliament, but is also no newcomer to the capital city. He used to be a councillor here. He also used to be an MMC under the former Mayor Solim Simanga before he obviously went to join Parliament in 2019. So he is also originally from Pretoria, from Centurion, 35 years of age. The multi-party coalition partners saying that it's also time to usher in some new blood. They are heeding the call of that mixed generational leadership here in the capital city. Hence, they've actually went for somebody like Cecilia Brink, who one is still young and also who has a very, holistic profile in terms of his political career. The fact that he has a history here in the capital city means that he will be hitting the ground running, as he is more or less familiar with what is needed in, here in the capital city. And he has already highlighted last week during the press briefing where they were actually introducing him formally, what some of his priority points would be should he be elected mayor here today. And top of the list would be to restore the ailing finances of the capital city. You would remember that adverse Auditor General report that really painted a bleak picture about the city's finances, that also being the root cause why Randall Williams had to obviously, vacate his post as mayor of Tshwane. So Cecilia Brink saying that that would be his main focus, also saying that he also plans to get rid of the Wonderboom airport here in the capital city, something that the municipal union, SAMU, did not take well, as they're saying that that's an asset that needs to be protected and preserved for job creation and also the economic empowerment of the capital city. But as much as Cecilia Brink, painted this vision of what he plans to bring to the capital city, it is not cut in stone that he will be mayor. It is expected to be a fierce battle. Desiree, the opposition, the EFF and the ANC have already indicated that they do not want Cecilia Brink. They actually are backing a minority mayor, saying that they're tired of DA mayors. They also came out very strongly saying that the DA has been at the helm of the capital city for the past 7 years, since 2016, and they're not satisfied with how this particular party has been leading the capital city. It has been one mayoral scandal after the other. You'd understand that Randall Williams also came under fire for his handling of the Kratos Energy Consortium deal. That's actually where things really went terribly wrong. Before the Auditor General's damning report came out, was that consortium deal, and of course opposition accusing Randall Williams of corruption. So the opposition now saying that all the mayors that the DA has actually presented since 2016 have led with dissatisfaction. There's no credibility, and the issue of the promises that the party has been making about, throughout the elections and so forth, talking about clean governance, talking about financial prudence. The opposition saying that they have fallen short of actually adhering or honoring those promises. So here today, we expect a standoff. It remains to be seen exactly who the opposition will be nominating. They're planning to nominate their own candidate. You'd understand that the Speaker, Dr. Murunwa Makwarela, has apparently been earmarked by the opposition to be the minority speaker that they are looking for. Of course, the Speaker has denied this. He has been kicked out of the coalition. We saw that controversy that boiled over last week, where the COPE logo was even removed from that collective statement from the multi-party coalition. So ultimately meaning that now that Cope is outside, they're no longer part of the coalition, then the mayoral position is perhaps up for grab, even by the Speaker himself. But it's a numbers game. The multi-party coalition has the majority of numbers in council. It would mean that maybe some of the disgruntled councillors from perhaps Action SA, some of the disgruntled councillors from the DA itself, as we have heard, that some of them are unhappy with the fact that once again they've been overlooked, and Celia Brink has been brought all the way from Cape Town while they are here. We know that the MMC, the former MMC for Finance, Peter Sutton, was one of the candidates who was actually promised the mayoral job, but he did not get it. It is now promised to Celia Brink. So in case those disgruntled councillors might vote with the opposition, then obviously we'll see a flip of power here in the council today, in particular if there is a secret ballot. The EFF already making it clear that they're going to call for a secret ballot. So we'll just have to see how matters pan out. It's certainly going to be a long day for the rest of us here in council. Desiree?
Patricia, you're saying that the African National Congress and the EFF want these proceedings to go a different way, and you're saying that the opposition, the coalition, has the numbers required for this to go ahead. What does the EFF and the ANC have in their arsenal to ensure them that outcome that they're looking for?
Well, they are obviously backing on the disgruntled councillors. The EFF made it clear that they're going to call for a secret ballot, and if there is a secret ballot, then that would allow the councillors from Action SA and from perhaps the DA who are not happy with how matters go, as I've just mentioned, that some of the councillors are actually unhappy. Councillors from the DA are unhappy with the fact that they have been overlooked for this top position in the capital city. And Celia Brink has been brought all the way from Cape Town to come and be mayor. Some of them have been serving in council, they've been serving in the capital city, but they are actually not getting this top job. You would understand that this is politics, but this is also their careers. All of them are actually gunning for that top position, the mayoral position. So some of them are unhappy, as I said. When Randall Williams left his post, he actually appointed MMC Peter Sutton to be the acting mayor, and even Peter Sutton, who by the way is highly qualified, well experienced, he himself has been overlooked for this much important position. So the EFF is really gunning on that broken relationship in the DA, where there is obviously some people who are feeling that they are being undermined, they're not getting enough credit for the work that they have done. So hopefully if the EFF gets what they want, which is that secret ballot, then they can obviously, depend on the votes of some of those unhappy councillors. But it's not something that one can really say it is a certainty. You would know that in the past 2 weeks, there's been a lot of negotiations that have been taking place behind scenes between these two groups, the multi-party coalition obviously trying to mend its relationship, and of course these two bulls, the ANC and the EFF, also trying to lobby the Speaker, trying to lobby some of those unhappy councillors to join forces with them, saying that it is time that a mayor from the minority party actually lead. We've seen this happening in the city of Johannesburg, and that is more or less the very same tactic that the ANC and the EFF wanted to pull here in Tshwane. But as I said, the multi-party coalition, very strong. They have the numbers, but if the Speaker, of course, has already left that coalition, that means that they are one man short. But even without the Speaker's vote, they still have enough numbers to make sure that Celia Brink is actually voted in, unless, of course, if Randall Williams, who is also a councillor, we heard the confirmation last week that he remains remains a councillor. You would never know how, of course, he would vote. We understand that he's also unhappy with how he was actually forced out of his position as mayor. So that is another one to actually really, observe with keenness to see exactly how is he going to vote. We understand that there are other councillors who are sick, who might be absent. Whether they will make it here today, we'll have to wait and see whether those numbers will actually give the outcome that the multi-party coalition is looking for, or whether the other side, the opposition, will be able to topple them with all the work that they have done behind the scenes trying to lobby the other side.
Patricia, of course, as you've said, his main priorities coming in, should he be elected executive mayor, is the finances of the city and just dealing with that Auditor General's adverse report. But just who is Celius Brink and what does he bring to this position?
Well, Celius Brink, I think, is just a normal South African citizen, a man with great ambition. He has a legal background. He comes from the capital city, originates from Centurion, 35 years of age. He has worked in the capital city before. As I've mentioned, he used to be a councillor here, and then he was an MMC under Solim Simanga. You'd remember the scandals that poured out under that administration, linked to the controversial Glad Africa contract, and he was in a way also implicated. But subsequently, obviously, that whole leadership was dissolved when Solim Simanga was ultimately ousted, and that obviously gave Celius Brink an opportunity to go and work in Parliament, and he's been at that side. So he has also gained added experience having worked in Parliament, working closely with legislation and so forth. But he sounds like a man of great vision. But Desiree, you would understand, in a multi-party coalition set up as in here in the capital of Tshwane, it's not necessarily about how great you are. It's not necessarily about how well experienced you are. It's about the political dynamics that you might face. It is about how well you'll be working within the coalition. It's about that relationship of trust, whether he will be able to command that relationship of trust, and whether he will be able to calm the tactics of the opposition against him, as they've already criticized him. There's the issue of age. They're not happy with the fact that he is so young. There's also the issue of race. The EFF and the ANC saying that they're looking for a black face. They would be much happier to see somebody that can actually reflect the demographics, the racial demographics in the capital city. But of course, the coalition making it very clear that this is not about race. This is about somebody who is fit for purpose, somebody who's got the right accolades, who've got the right characteristics and the right vision to restore the dignity and the credibility of the capital city in the best interest of the people of Tshwane. In particular, if one takes into consideration how service delivery has suffered a major blow in the capital city over the last few months, Tshwane not being able to pay its electricity bill at Eskom. You'd remember that standoff, that fallout between Tshwane and Eskom, where the capital city actually owed Eskom over R1 billion in their bill that was not serviced. The issues around fuel shortages. Then there was this scandal where people's salaries were not paid. Some of the staff salaries were not paid. Of course, they told us what the reasons were behind the scenes. But, all those challenges that are actually linked to finances. Randall Williams, before he left, making it very clear that it was very difficult for him as mayor to actually honor his vision and really to really service the people of Tshwane as he would want to, because the city is ultimately bankrupt. There is no money, and it makes it very difficult. Also, you remember, bemoaned the issue of the rapid load shedding that is crippling the capital city, saying that there are so many challenges that make it very difficult for any leader, despite how brilliant they may be, to actually realize their vision and restore the integrity of this capital city. So it remains to be seen, with all the challenges that are deepening here in the capital city, will Celia Brink, if he should become mayor, will he be able to rise to the occasion?
Yeah.
Will he be able to turn around things? Will he be able to win over staff and also lobby them to do what is needed? Then there is the municipal union, SAMU, as well. Will he be able to have a good relationship with the union and other stakeholders? So it's not really just about the multi-party coalition, but it is the forces outside that coalition that actually play the important role. If you can't lobby those ones, if they're not happy with you, if they can't work with you, if people in the townships feel that they are being overlooked, they're not getting the very same services that people in the affluent suburbs are getting, then obviously even Celia Brink with his beautiful profile might have a big challenge here in the capital city.
Patricia, just a quick one. It's interesting. I'm intrigued by what you say that the EFF and the ANC want to bring in someone from the smaller minority parties. A similar modus operandi and strategy that was used in the city of Joburg, and it succeeded. Can we see a repeat in Tshwane?
Anything is possible. This is politics. Desiree, what do they always tell us? That there are no permanent enemies or permanent friends in politics. And the mere fact that you already have some councillors that are from the multi-party coalition who are unhappy with how things are going with the state of affairs, who feel that they have been overlooked for this top position. The mere fact that you're seeing that, and of course the EFF saying that they're going to lobby the speaker, who one can also say is perhaps disgruntled himself because he has been kicked out of the coalition. It was quite embarrassing, in particular if you take into consideration how they just removed COPE's logo from that joint statement. So if the EFF perhaps lobbies the speaker, who knows if maybe the speaker might just grant that secret ballot, and from there, anything is possible. It's not something that we can confirm in which direction it will go. As I said, both sides remain really strong. The multi-party coalition has the numbers, but it seems like the other side has the strategy. So it's really a wait-and-see game.